Alright, we have a couple pieces of wire we're gonna secure to each other using some solder. This is something you see folks doing a lot, and you can kind of see them there, hopefully. I'm just going to kind of twist the ends. This is something I used to do myself. Twist the ends there so they're kind of held in place. Now I want to secure it in an effort to build a more reliable connection. I'm just kind of using my strip tool as a prop so I can kind of solder this connection. Alright, so I'm going to kind of get some heat into the wire there. Before I start flowing the solder. It's a little cumbersome, but we'll get it. Alright. Here we go. You can see the solder flowing. You really want to watch out for these fumes. You want to be breathing these in, but I'm just doing this one just to demonstrate, so I'm not going to lose any sleep over that. Alright, so there we go. Now we have a soldered connection. I'm going to let that cool for a second. Alright, so there we go. Now I'm just going to kind of run it through its paces, kind of bend it, see how well it holds up, flex it. Alright, there we go. Just kind of, there we go. That didn't take a whole lot. And it's not because the wire was weak. I mean, I could sit here all day long anywhere else on the wire and flex it, pull it. It's just, you know, effectively turned our stranded core wire into solid core wire, you know, which is fine in a home. It's cheaper to manufacture, and homes don't flex a whole lot, hopefully anyway. If they do, you got big problems. But, you know, in a car, you got vibration, and, you know, as you're running the wire, you kind of have to route it through nooks and crannies and around bends. So it's just a very different environment. So we don't want to be turning our stranded core wire into solid core wire. It's brittle there. Doesn't have a whole lot of fatigue life, and just not a good idea in general to be soldering your connections, you know, for automotive applications anyway. All right. Now I'm going to show a alternative approach, which is the proper approach in my opinion, using a barrel connector. You can see I have some here in a number of different sizes for different gauge wires. You know, our goal is to use this connector to, you know, join these two pieces of wire, but in a more reliable fashion than what we saw with the solder. So similar to before, I'm just going to kind of remove the ends here that I've previously stripped off, and I'm gonna, you know, basically twist the ends because I want them to not fray as I'm inserting them into the barrel connector. Alright, I'm just gonna, it's pretty straightforward. Just gonna kind of come in from both ends like I'm doing here. Like that. Just kind of move that into place. A little bit of finesse required, but it's pretty straightforward. Alright, then I'm going to use this tool right here, just a simple crimp tool designed for crimping this style of connector, and just place it in there and crimp, and there we go. And I'm going to just kind of work my way down the connector, so, you know, basically all of the barrel connectors being used to hold these two pieces of wire together. There we go. And do a pull test. You know, you can see these two halves are held in place well. But the difference here now is, as I can sit here and I can flex this all day long, you know, and these two halves are not going to come apart. They're secure. They're not going to break. There's nothing brittle to break like what we had with the solder. So you're preserving the ductility, if you will, of the stranded wires while still joining them in a secure fashion. So that's the better approach. And of course you can cover that up with heat shrink wrap. That's what I would recommend. Electrical tape, if you don't have any of that, is I suppose okay, but I prefer heat shrink wrap. Cover it up, heat it up with a gun. You know, I showed this tool. You can also use if you happen to have one, a more expensive ratcheting crimper, which performs the same task. You know, if you use one of these, make sure you get the proper ends. They have removable dies, you know, for the various different types of connectors that you might be working with. So anyway, that's it. Hopefully you learned something. Thanks.